Dunga was back too, having between the two legs been to Brazil for an international for his home country. Juventus made just one change forced upon them. Dario Bonetti, who got his second yellow card in the first leg, was out suspended, and he was ironically replaced by Pasquale Bruno, who was returning from his one-match suspension. Soviet star Alexander Zavarov was now out of favour and on the bench. Your commentator is Martin Tyler.
Well, welcome to the Partenio Stadium in Avellino, the scene of the second leg of the 1990 UEFA Cup final. It's officially, in quotes, the home leg for Fiorentina. Moved away from their home city because of trouble in the semi-final in Florence. Fiorentina 3-1 down from playing the first leg in Turin. Juventus, very much the favourites here in this domestic match in a European context. Fiorentina unchanged from the first leg. They were concerned about Carlos Dunga, their Brazilian midfield player, who played for Brazil, in Brazil on Sunday. He got back here on Monday night and has slept well, we're led to believe, and is raring to go, but it won't be easy for him. Juventus without Dario Bonetti, who was suspended for a yellow card he got in the first game, his second yellow card of the competition. But Pasquale Bruno, who was suspended himself in the first leg, is the obvious replacement. Referee comes from West Germany, Aaron Schmidhuber, who will be taking part in the World Cup finals. Fiorentina's best hope of turning this around here in Avellino is a 2-0 win. That would give them the UEFA Cup by virtue of an away goal. But here's Schillaci looking for an away goal of his own. And he was leading the race against Volpecina quite clearly until he was impeded. Schillaci, who's had such a tremendous season with Juventus, he's in Italy's World Cup squad. And Juventus will feel that a goal here should be enough. Fiorentina have one ingredient, the genius of Baggio. More on that in a moment as Alessio. Oh, and Galea glanced it on. Marco Landucci furious with the markers. And Roberto Galea, who scored after 2 minutes in the first game, very nearly repeated the dose here. Here's Battistini. Schillaci chasing back and bringing Battistini down. Pedino's off his last game in charge of Juventus. He can really go out in style. Luigi Maifredi has been appointed the Juventus coach for next season. It seems somewhat hard on Zoff, who's already won the Italian Cup this season. Fiorentina with Baggio here, the man they're looking to. He borders really on genius in his skills, and he manufactured a shot here that would have been beyond many players. Kubik with that lovely feel for the ball on the left foot. As you can imagine, there is high security in the stadium here. There was trouble on the terraces, not so much on the field in the first game. test of Fiorentina's patience. Busso. Oh, and it's low wide from close in there, where suddenly Juventus, who seemed very relaxed and capable so far, and Graziani, I'm sure, appreciates that there won't be too many chances, and that fell to Baggio. After Di Chiara had just sort of knocked the ball in behind a couple of markers there, and Baggio was first to it. It would certainly make a real match of this if Fiorentina do get the first goal of this second leg. And it would jangle the nerves of Juventus, you can be sure of that. They haven't been that fluent this season, to be sure of sustaining their position here, despite being strong favourites. One of their weaknesses has been a defence that's leaked goals in league games by their standards and by Italian standards. You can get at them, that's what Fiorentina have got to try to do. Prepared to back his pace again, and Fiorentina penalised, the free kick taken quickly, which rather let Fiorentina off the hook, I think, because the referee, if Juventus had delayed, particularly as Fiorentina, it wasn't his first foul of the game, shall we say. That's easy for Marco Landucci. Here's Battistini. Tonga has gone to the right this time. Battistini hits it rather wastefully through the centre. Juventus won't mind that sort of approach one little bit. Tacconi, who's an old hand, will take what time the referee allows him, which won't be too long. In Avellino, a local club here midway in the Italian second division, having been relegated last season. Kept in well by Schilacci. Alessio. Casiraghi trying to turn. Casiraghi was looking for a goal himself, but Schilacci actually came onto it, facing the goal. And he had the shot. Quick by Gallia. Marocchi. Elolio just left a foot there on Giancarlo Marocchi, another of Rogelio Vicini's 22 for the World Cup. And Alenikov playing the sweeper's role tonight in the absence of Dario Bonetti and the injured Roberto Tricella. Battistini. Here's Kubik. Elolio's galloped forward again. Battistini. Nappi pulling to the right. Well, it was a progressive attack from Fiorentina. Nappi did have a cluster of teammates herring into the penalty area, more than he would expect in the average league game. On a night when one goal won't be enough for Fiorentina. Dunga. kick, and Nappi ran offside. Will chase everything. Marocchi's header. Held up well by Casiraghi. An advantage played here. Casiraghi. Now Nappi's offside, incidentally, but Casiraghi's showing well in this game, and he's done particularly well in the UEFA Cup run for Juventus without being a regular in the league side. We're halfway through the first half of the second leg of the UEFA Cup final. This all-Italian affair, bringing out all the inherent passion for the game in this football-crazy country. Schillaci. Casiraghi. Well, really just to prove the point that I was making a minute or two ago. Pierluigi Casiraghi, he's only 21. And he scored crucial goals in the final already, and in the quarter-final, and in the third round, when really he's just learning his trade at this level. Fiorentina with this dreadful dilemma, really. They have to go for goal, but they daren't let anything slip at the back. It wouldn't be the worst thing for them to keep it to 0-0 till half-time, and then really go over a shorter course the second 45 minutes, when there's just a chance that Juventus might not be able to capitalise on any policy of all-out attack. Still plenty of interest in the final. Dunga. And of course, a Fiorentina goal at this stage would really fan the flames. Baggio, can he supply it? For Nappi, and it was just a little tense and tight in there, which it's bound to be. I should think the hardest thing for Graziani, the coach, in preaching his instructions for this game is to get his players to relax and try and play to their peak. You very rarely do that if you're tight and tense and worried about the time ticking away. There is a similarity here to a famous ending to the English League Championship last season, the 88-89 season, when Arsenal had to go to Liverpool and win by 2 goals to take the title. Otherwise Liverpool will be the champions. It was 0-0 at half-time in that, and that was according to Arsenal's plan, because they felt that they might get the 2 by taking on Liverpool over the shorter course the second half, and maybe Fiorentina will not be too displeased that they've got themselves in this position. Still 2 goals down from the first leg, but nothing worse has happened in the first half. And now, with 45 minutes remaining, they can have a real crack at Juventus. It is an appealing prospect, it's a difficult prospect for them, but Juventus still won't feel that they've actually done the job. So 0-0 here in the first half of the second leg. Juventus 3-1 up. We'll be back here for the second half. Well, welcome back to the Partenio Stadium in Avellino. This ground that's been pressed into service because of the punishment handed out to Fiorentina. And so far the authorities here have coped with the stress of the occasion very well indeed. And the supporters too, who didn't behave themselves in a manner which covered them with honour in the, or some of them didn't, in the first game. Much more in keeping with the spirit of the occasion so far. Let me just remind you again that it's 0-0 here in the second leg. Juventus won the first leg 2 weeks ago by 3-1. And we surely can expect Fiorentina now to roll up their sleeves and have a real go at Juventus to try to win a major European trophy. The last one for Fiorentina was back in 1961 when they won the first Cup Winners' Cup. Juventus, of course, while their trophy cabinet is much bigger and much fuller. Tunga. Nappi. Well, it was a useful effort. Maybe it will fuel the Fiorentina ambition, which needs a little bit of fueling, but they've still got plenty of time. Just to remind you again, if they were to win 2-0 here, they would win the UEFA Cup. It wouldn't go to extra time because of the away goal they got in Turin. All credit to Juventus. There's been few signs of panic here. They've played professionally and tidily. With every passing second, they're closer and closer to collecting the UEFA Cup. And Schillaci being told he's not required out here. They want him in the middle. Roy Barosh, the smallest player in the penalty area. It's Alessio who's going to take the free kick. Oh, Schillaci! Having won a physical challenge to get to the ball first, he'll be disappointed with the header. He had to shrug off Volpacina. It was a reasonable chance. Here's Busso. And Busso is furious with Bruno, who's sent off for his second bookable offence. And really, Juventus can't take issue with the ruling, but they will certainly take issue with Bruno. If he'd have just jockeyed Busso then, there wasn't a direct threat. But Bruno decided he'd got to go for it, and he was really rash and reckless. So that has put a different complexion on the time that remains. One of the defensive markers has gone, and Fiorentina have 11 against 10. Here's Volpacina. How will Juventus cope? Well enough as long as it stays at 0-0, but if Fiorentina could now add to the dismissal of Bruno with a goal here, Juventus might find themselves really on the rack. Volpacina's shot. Pasquale Bruno sent off 13 minutes into the second half. Taccone, well, you need a goalkeeper at that particular moment, as Juventus might have started to rock. You need a goalkeeper who really is on top of his profession, as Taccone is. It wasn't by any means an easy catch. The consequences, had he dropped the ball, might have been catastrophic. about bringing on another marker. The referee's very concerned about any time wasting. He's been right on top of that, but Zoff has got Sergio Brio on the bench, the veteran centre-back. But Brio started the first leg and was pulled all over the place by Fiorentina and was substituted at half-time. I would doubt whether Zoff would feel it was the right thing to bring him on. We must wait and see. What he really would like would be for his 10 men to contribute a goal here and ease the nerves that must have mounted now. A little more time wasting by Taccone, who let the ball run. The message passed this time to Napoli to get on with it. Graziani, who had such a distinguished playing career, 64 caps, 23 goals for Italy. He started the World Cup final in 1982 against West Germany in Spain. Didn't last too long before he had to go off injured. You might remember Altobelli replaced him and came on to score in that final. Dunga! It certainly swerved. It had that Brazilian feel to it. And he can hit them with both feet. It was just a leisurely swing of the left leg then, and suddenly the ball was roaring towards Taccone's goal, but the goalkeeper wasn't fazed by it. But it is a corner. Taken by Kubik, dealt with again by De Agostini, who's covered that space by the near post pretty effectively for Juventus. Gilacci was impeded. Here's Baros. Chased by Dell'Olio, who's also got a yellow card and won't want to commit a tackle of the same rashness as Bruno. Well, team seemed to be labouring a little after that, trying to prevent a Juventus throw and just keep the ball in for Fiorentina. An attempt to mount another attack. Alessio finally throws the ball to Schillaci. Dogged work by Volpicina. A lot coming for Fiorentina through Dunga at the moment. And Battistini as well, who can really forget his defensive responsibilities. And that had Taccone's heart fluttering a little. It was a sort of shoveled shot, really. Battistini did play further forward earlier in his career. Very much a backman now. And he connected pretty cleanly. Taccone would like you to think that he knew that was going wide. I'm not so sure. On Dell'Olio as he headed the ball. The referee, I think, has had a good game. He's kept things under control. He looks very fit. He's always on top of the play. He's got to be fit, of course, for the World Cup finals. Nappi. Baggio! That's where he could do something drastic to Juventus. A little juggle up for the volley. Juventus won this trophy back in 1977. In the 80s, they won the other two European club competitions, so they have got the full set. Baggio come up with this time for Fiorentina. Safe pass to Battistini in the end. Then Dunga clips it in with the outside of the foot. Di Chiaro, wonderful save! Busso, no! And the ball's still in play. Baggio, and Leinikov in the way. Tremendous goalkeeping by Taccone. But here comes Baggio again. I think Fiorentina may have a free kick here. And it's right on the edge. But Di Chiara's header brought the save of the game so far from Taccone a moment or two ago. It's the best spell of pressure, really, that Fiorentina have mounted. Dunga. Juventus trying to get an offside. Dunga's header. Di Chiara's tackle against Alessio. Here's Dunga. Nappi. Can he pinch a goal here? He couldn't because D'Agostini defended with great purpose and indeed within the framework of the laws of the game as well, despite what the Fiorentina fans thought. But the cracks are starting to appear in the Juventus defending, mostly because of the sending off of Bruno and the effect that's had on Fiorentina. It's galvanised them again. The referee not sure that Busso went for the ball then, but he might have gone over the ball. So Busso gets a card. Minutes left. And you just wonder now what sort of gambles that Graziani is going to take. And Nappi is, to my mind, surprisingly replaced. Marco Nappi worried the life out of Juventus in the first half of the first game. Rui Baros gives way to Avallone, who's one of the 20-year-olds. Here's Gallia. Juventus don't have a very big playing staff when they carry a couple of injuries, which they have had to over the last few weeks of the league season. Tuchella, I mentioned earlier, he's been out for a while, and Fortunato as well. Well, you wonder about injuries when World Cup players are feeling a muscle strain. Luigi D'Agostini is in the Italian 22, but doing his level best to give full concentration to Juventus here. And it can't be that difficult when you've got a huge prize at stake. Kubik to the right. Well, Taccone is the difference at the moment between the real problem for Juventus. Zironelli is another of these players who's... it is different in Italy to a lot of European countries. They carry young players on the staff, very rarely use them in league games. Sampdoria, for example, only use 16 players in their entire league programme. And yet we've got a player here on each side, Avallone and Zironelli, with scarcely any league experience between them, being asked to influence a major European final. Is it Baggio this time? That's on the edge again. I think the fury there might be... well, it wasn't justified. The first challenge was just outside. It was very close. But when you've got Baggio in your team, as long as he's in full working order, this could almost be as good as a penalty. The West German referee Aaron Schmidhuber doing his best to keep it good-humoured. Alessio coming from this side. Taccone has got a six-man wall. Baggio takes it. The goalkeeper was in the right place, and I don't think you've got to look too far for the man of this match. He's outthought his opponents, really. He makes the saves because of a tremendous sense of anticipation. And it was almost as if he said to Baggio, you try and put it in that corner. But Olenikov's not happy with the goalkeeper. Maybe he feels he should have held it. Casiraghi has got a major problem. And Juventus will have to make another change. I think it's a hamstring that's gone. He can hardly move that left leg. But the corner is taken. All sorts of drama here. They've got to get Casiraghi off. Well, players will tell you that muscles tend to go in the first 10 minutes of a game when you're not warmed up properly, or towards the last 10 minutes when the muscle gets tired. Massimiliano Rossa comes into the category of those players I was telling you about earlier, of very limited experience. He's only 19. And that's Casiraghi helping to defend. He has worked so hard. No wonder that hamstring has said enough is enough. Olpacina tries to force away, through again. Kubik. Battistini is there. Kubik! Well, it must look to Fiorentina as though there are three men in that Juventus goal. Olpacina takes the throw. A minute left and Fiorentina still have to score twice. Past the goalkeeper, who has refused to be beaten. Stefano Taccone, an Avellino player between 1980 and 1983 before he moved on to Juventus. And he has given a most creditable performance on a ground he knows so well. And because of Taccone, really, at the crucial stage, Juventus are going to triumph here. Battistini's header. It's just a matter of the time now that the referee chooses to add on before he confirms Dino Zoff's team as winners of the UEFA Cup. Dunga. Gallia right by the side of Baggio again. Juventus have won it. Most of their best work in the first leg. They came here and played it pretty well with a 2-goal advantage on a neutral ground until Bruno stupidly, to my mind, got himself sent off 13 minutes into the second half. After that, it was a very different story. It allowed Fiorentina to force the pace against 10 men, and they suddenly started to make life very busy for Stefano Tacconi. Bruno mingling his joy with relief, I'm sure, as they run to Dino Zoff. What a farewell present it is for him. But a terrific sequence of saves by Tacconi. Really should be remembered from this second leg. That was the crucial contribution, as Gallia gives his version of events. The player who scored the opening goal in the first leg after just 2 minutes on a night in Turin when Busso equalised in a very even first half. In fact, a first half that was more Fiorentina than Juventus. Casiraghi and De Agostini turned it the way of the Turin-based club in the second half of the first leg. We've had no goals here, but no shortage of incident. And Dino Zoff, a winner in the Italian Cup this season with Juventus, has done a double. They've got the UEFA Cup as well, and this is the greater prize. And the players try to make their way forward to collect it. What a season it is for the Italian clubs in Europe. Stefano Tacconi, who turned out to be the man of the match, holds up the UEFA Cup for Juventus. A great goalkeeper who's had a great night here on a ground he knows so well. And he's had his hands now on all 3 major European trophies. Juventus, 22 times champions of Italy. 8 times they've won the Italian Cup. They've sprinkled their achievements too with great European honours, and their name is on the Roll of Honour again for this season.